what I usually do is just do one at a time, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
So why don't we do two different backgrounds? You stay there. I can have you scoot over a little bit.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. And then lower the mic. There you go. Something like that. A little bit lower. And that's perfect. I don't see you holding it. Looks like I'm doing my job a little bit, but I'm not.
I didn't know you were working for Channel 13.
It's reporting live from the state capitol.
Awesome.
First things first, if I can have you state your name and the spelling of your first and last name, and some sort of a title for us.
John.
You can look at me.
Okay. John Janosko, Janosko, and I'm a Wood Street community member and a Wood Street community leader.
Okay, that would be in Oakland, right?
Oakland, California.
Okay. All right. Well, first of all, if you could just tell me what events happened on Friday and yesterday, and what are you guys actually doing here today?
So, Friday, we were getting ready to go on our bike ride, which was on October 1st. So October 1st, me and about 15 other community members and supporters of the Wood Street community in Oakland, California, rode our bikes from Oakland to Sacramento to partnership with another encampment out on Arden and Colfax.
Okay. And that is the land that was set aside, or that land was the homeless were there and then they were kicked out by the city?
From my understanding, the land was promised to the homeless. They were going to make it a safe lot for RVs and for tents, and they kicked them off, and they left, and they kicked them off. They came back, and they kicked them off again. So we came back up here to help them reclaim the lot.
Okay. And on the Oakland side, what happened over there?
On the Oakland side, well, right now on the Oakland side, everyone's being evicted. Caltrans a couple of weeks ago went through with an order to evict in phases, 3 different phases, and next week is basically starting on the 3rd phase of evictions, which is going to displace about 200 people altogether. This week there's an eviction starting on Wednesday. There's also an eviction on Friday. That eviction, the people that are on that city land now, they just recently got evicted from Caltrans land a couple of weeks ago, and now they're getting evicted off of the Oakland land.
All right. So obviously you guys are here to protest. There's a lot. It seems like there's a lot of evictions. People are being displaced in both cities.
Yes. We're up here networking, helping out fellow homeless encampments, possibly passing on information, tools necessary to be able to fight back, to resist, to claim the land. Networking just to have partnership, to get to know people up here that are going through the same things that we're going through down in Oakland. Okay. We want to talk to some people that hopefully could do something to change what's going on across California.
And what is going on right now in the Arden area around Colfax? Are people just hanging out around the perimeter? Is there a fence now around it?
There's a fence. The city, I guess, put up a fence around the lot. They paved it. And now they're not hanging out on the outside. They actually are on the inside with tents. We brought about 10 tents up. There's the community that was already up here, had tents already set up. Yesterday we had a really big barbecue. Spent the day hanging out with some of the unhoused community that live on the canal area, on the levee, the people that live on that lot. Just throwing ideas back and forth, figuring out how we're going to go forward, and just basically building friendship and partnership that's going to help us in the future.
So what's next then? What are you guys going to do? Have you contacted city officials, state officials?
We've already talked to city officials in Oakland. I'm sure they talked to some of the city officials out here. We just got finished talking to a senator and some of the Capitol people. What's next is bringing this message and giving it more to other encampments. We want to reach out to San Jose encampments, smaller encampments that don't have a voice. We're lucky enough to have a big voice and have a lot of media coverage and attention right now. And there's a lot of encampments that don't get that. So I don't want people to forget. There's so many other encampments besides Wood Street and the one out here off Arden that don't get what we get. And we want to make sure that people pay attention to them too. When you're donating stuff, please stop by and donate supplies, water, food, just time. It doesn't have to be anything that costs anything. We want people to spend time with these encampments so they can see that they're just people too. They're just trying to make it in this world.
Right. So city officials and state officials say that they're doing their best, or there are homes or temporary homes for the homeless. Is that enough, or is that nowhere
No,
near?
that's not enough at all. Temporary solutions don't work because there was an audit, I just want to say, that happened in Oakland for the last 4 years. So 9,000 people went through temporary shelters, and on this audit, they can't account for not one person being able that got permanent housing. So 9,000 people went through temporary housing, and not one of them is counted for as of getting permanent housing. So I want people to stop thinking about temporary and think permanent. There's no such thing as temporary. It's all about permanent.
Right. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Hello, Mom.
I have a question.
Thank you. Okay.
Can you tell us about the evictions? Can you tell us what's happening during these evictions? And are they offering y'all resources or housing or services?
I don't want to take away from people some of the resources that do come down there, but for the most part, the resources usually don't show up until the day of the evictions, when everyone's in scatter mode, in desperate mode, and not knowing where they're going to go. And that's the days they usually come. They should be out months in advance, working towards getting them housing before the evictions are posted, before all that starts. I would say the house community is doing the majority of the footwork, which we love doing, but we're doing the majority of the footwork, which should have been done by the communities, that the agencies that are getting all the money to do this.
And what do the evictions look like? Is it someone knocking on your door telling you to leave? Is
No,
it
it's let's say, I don't know, 20 hired patrol cars, about 100 to 125 Caltrans workers, humongous dump trucks, tractors, and a whole bunch of garbage bags, and an agency munching through everyone's belongings, throwing stuff in dumpsters, and a lot of chaos, basically, what it looks like. People losing their worldly belongings, losing everything, where they live, their community. It's like a hurricane.
Do you know if anyone's been offered housing?
A few people have been offered housing, but it's not permanent housing. What they're offering is a tough shed, or
So it's not housing?
It's not housing. They're not offering housing. They're offering tough sheds, tool sheds, to share with somebody else with none of your belongings, and probably not your pet. That's what they're offering. They're offering basically nothing that's suitable for people out here.
What do y'all want? What do y'all need?
What we want people to listen to us. We want city officials, state officials to come down to these encampments and actually sit down and talk to the people and ask each individual what they need.